Hey guys, Rachel from RK Ribbon Designs here with another fun, easy, this one's an easy tutorial for some picks and sprays for your wreaths, your trees, whatever it is that you want to use them for. This one I typically, when I'm using the mesh tubing, I like to do the wire when I wrap it with yarn because it gives it a little more stability. But for this one, I felt like I kind of wanted it to be a little more bouncy and a little more flexible. So we're just going to use pipe cleaners, mesh tubing, and then some little styrofoam ball, and we're just going to make a fun little springy pick. But see, these ones are very bouncy, so the ones like if you wrap the yarn around wire, they're going to be, you know, a lot more stiff. So I do like them kind of, you know, dancey like that. And also it's very cost effective to be able to do them this way and faster. So all you're going to need is some pipe cleaners. I'm using the Chanel stems pipe cleaners, same thing. I get these from Burlap and Bling Decor, and they're the 20-inch ones. I prefer these ones because they're like the perfect length, and then you only need one at a time. Where if you do the 12-inch, you're going to need to use two at a time. And if you use my code RK10, and it's all caps, you can get 10% off your purchase there. So this is just like their lime green. Now the tubing I got from Craft Outlet. They are out of stock right now, but depending on when you're watching this tutorial, they might have it, so you could check it. But they have lots of different mesh tubing because you can do this in any color that you want. So, you know, don't just get caught up in just this color here, because you can do whatever color you want. But you're going to want a mesh tubing, and I know like even Dollar Tree has it. Burlap and Bling does have some, but I don't know if they have like all the colors just yet. So kind of check different places. So what you're going to do is you're going to just take your pipe cleaner here, and we're just going to fold it in half, and then we're going to pinch right at that halfway point, just like that. And now you're going to take it and you're just going to twist the two together. So now I'm just going to use my fingers and I'm just twisting the two together. Now the reason why I do this is because if it was just by itself, like even if you had a 12-inch one and you try to use it by itself, it's really weak. So this still gives it, like, it'll still hold, and it'll still be like bouncy, but not like just super cheapy, you know. So this gives it a little bit more strength and structure. So you're gonna just want to do that, twist them up, and then you have your insides for your mesh tubing. So I have a whole bunch already ready. And then you're just gonna take your tubing here and you're just gonna push it in. And sometimes I'll just kind of accordion it, like I'll hold it the end here and I'll kind of take a little bit at a time, and then I'll pinch it where I feel the pipe cleaner, and then I'll let it go. So it's kind of like a snake, like that, how I put it in sometimes, because sometimes it won't just go easy. So and you're just going to cut it, and then you have your one of your little sticks there. So we'll just do another one here, and I'm going to do 4. I want to do 4 on each pick. This is another thing, you can decide how many you want on each of your picks, and you don't even have to put them in picks if you want to just keep them individual, because I know a lot of people end up cutting them up anyway. So if this is like for a project that you're doing, then you don't even have to bother putting them on the pick. Okay, so now that we have 4 here, so now what you're going to do is you're going to take the end, and I'm going to take the end where that's folded, and I'm going to pull down the mesh tubing just a little bit, and I'm going to take my glue at the top here, put a little bit of glue, and I'm going to let it sit just for a second. I have my glue on low temp. You want to make sure you have it on low temp. And if you have the little finger shields, then this is when you'd want to use them, but I don't have it. So I'm going to let it sit just a little. Then I'm going to let the tubing kind of go over just slightly, and then I'm going to just pinch it. Now it's kind of sat, so that way it doesn't burn my fingers really bad. And I'm just going to twist it. So you're going to want it to have like a little point like that. So you're going to want to do that with every one of them. Just put a little glue. And it doesn't have to be sealed like really good, but you do want to make sure it's sealed because once you put the ball on the top, it's going to make it a lot easier. So I'm just going to pull that up. And if you can't find the styrofoam balls, because they are kind of hard to find, I used to always get them at Hobby Lobby. Dollar Tree has some. They're not the best quality, but you can also just use like air dry foam clay, and you could just make the balls with that and glitter them if you wanted to, or just buy white styrofoam balls and then you can glitter them whatever color you want. The pom-pom balls are not really going to work because you're not going to be able to push the end into the pom-pom ball, so I would not recommend them. Okay, I'll do one more here. And then when we're done, we will go ahead and put the ball on the top of each one here. And that's why you're going to want to make sure you do this part. Okay. So now we're just going to take our styrofoam ball here, and I'm going to just take my scissors and I'm just going to put a hole already started into the ball there, and then I'm just going to put some glue inside. Then I'm going to take the tip of that mesh tubing and I'm just going to push it down. And you want to be careful because remember that pipe cleaner is not that strong. So if you push it too much, it's going to just bend on you, and you don't want that. But you want to make sure that the pipe cleaner gets in there too. And then you have that at the top. So you're just going to do that with 4 of your styrofoam balls here. And I hope you guys are liking all this content that I'm offering you guys. Let me know in the comments too, like what do you want to learn, or what's your favorite things that you're learning, and I'll try to do some more videos on things. Okay, push that in. And it's best if you kind of hold it right towards the end, just to make sure that you get it in there. Oh, it's kind of a wonky one. Okay, and then the last one. And the mesh tubing comes in so many different colors. Just remember, whatever tubing you're going to use, you want to try to find pipe cleaners that match the color as best as possible. So like I could have used a darker green, but it's going to make this tubing a little darker. If you use white, it'll look a little lighter. So you want to make sure you match the color of your tubing the best you can. All right, so now that we have all of them done, I typically wrap them around like a little rolling pin. But because of the pipe cleaners, you're going to have to roll these, like wrap them really small. So we're going to just use our glue stick here. So you're just going to put the end of it here, and then you're just going to twist this around. I'm going to try to pinch it so that the pipe cleaner and the mesh tubing is all at the end at the same. And I'm just going to twist it. And you're going to want to kind of twist it a little tough because it'll spring open like that. So if I use the what I typically use, now I don't even see where I put it. Oh, here. Like I typically use a rolling pin, but if I did that, it doesn't really give me like the spring that I want. See, like that's as much as it does. So that's why you're going to want to make sure you're using a really small, something smaller, like a pen, maybe just a little thicker, but the glue stick, the jumbo glue stick is the best size. And you're going to wrap it and kind of twist it and pull it. Then you can always kind of pull it open, but that gives you like that fun bouncy spring. So you're going to just do that with all 4. And if I had wrapped the insides, like the wire with yarn, and then put it through the mesh tubing, I would not use the glue stick, because then it will make it too tight because the wire will really hold. So that's the difference too. All right, so now all you're going to do is you're going to just take an 18 gauge wire. I get these from Amazon. And then your floral tape here. So I'm going to take a piece of floral tape. Then I'm going to take one of my little springs and I'm going to put it right at the top. So we're going to have it about an inch over this mesh tubing. And then we're just going to take our floral tape and we're going to wrap it. Now when you wrap it, you are going to give your floral tape just a little tug, and that kind of activates the stickiness of it. Now all floral tape is not the same, so you got to kind of search which one's the best for you. The Hobby Lobby one is always extremely, extremely sticky, so you got to be careful with that. And then you'll find some that aren't sticky at all. So I always say to check the reviews on Amazon, because sometimes I'll order some and then I go back to order and they won't have it, or I'll order it again and it might be a little bit different. So you just got to kind of see. All right, and then I'm going down. Sorry, I just was going about 2 inches from where I started this one, and I'm going to be on the side to start the next one. And this way it kind of makes your pick a little longer. But again, if you're doing like a project that you know what you're going to want to use it for, then you might want to just do all of them right at the top and it's just like a bundle. Or you only maybe want 2 on the wire, because you're only going to need the 2. So you can control that yourself. But I'm selling these at my craft show, so I'm going to have 4 on a bunch, 4 on a stick. So I'm going to come on the other side now and come down about 2 inches. And then I'm going to take my tape and I'm going to do the same thing. So these are really fun in your trees. So let's see, we have that. And then I'm going to come on the other side with my last one. Right there. I'm not going to go as low. I'm going to take my floral tape and then we're just going to finish this last one here. And because I'm using a green stem, I don't need to take the floral tape all the way to the bottom. But like if you wanted it to be white and you had a green stem, then you would need to take the white floral tape all the way to the bottom. Or if, you know, you had a black tape or whatever you were using. But because I'm using the green, I don't have to go all the way. And then you have your little fun springy tube picks. So see, and they're like really dancy. So like if you have a tree and you put them in there on a wreath, they'd look really fun. Every time the door opens, they're kind of, you know, like dance a little bit. So this is super easy. These are things like you can make, except for the putting the tops on, but you can prepare all the things while like you're sitting and watching TV. You could be wrapping the pipe cleaners and then putting them in the tubing. And then when you're ready to put them all together, put the balls on and then you just floral tape them on. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you're subscribed to my page and you like this video so that you don't miss anything that's coming up next. All right, guys, you have a great day. Bye.